Hello everybody, got a 2012 Ford Fusion here today. Working on the brakes and replaced the hydraulic control module and the master cylinder. Problem was, once I got everything back together, could not get a pedal, could not get any brake pressure whatsoever. I bled the system, put probably a half a gallon of brake fluid through it, bleeding every wheel, pressure bleed, and I tried to vacuum bleed. Nothing, could not get a pedal. So I figured out the proper way to do this because I could not find any videos of this particular vehicle online or anywhere for that matter. So I did figure it out. I'm going to show you today on how to do that, and I'm also going to show you how to test your master cylinder to make sure that that's working, to rule that out. 9 out of 10 times with these vehicles with this year, if you lose your pedal or you get a spongy pedal, it is the hydraulic control valve. They had a problem with the valve sticking internally. The only way to fix that is to replace it. So, okay, here we go. Pause. Okay, we step over here. We're going to need a few things here. You're going to need a scan tool, first and foremost, that has the ABS bleed function. If you don't have that, don't even try this because you're not going to get anywhere. This particular model I'm using is a Launch. It's a CRP 429. Great tool. Had it about 2.5 years now. Under 400 bucks. It'll do every vehicle, every ABS system out there. It's got a lot of other nice functions too. Can't beat it for the money. So get you one of these. Doesn't matter whose it is. Make sure it does ABS bleeding. You have to have that. Don't attempt this if you don't. This is the hydraulic control valve module for this vehicle, for the 2012 Fusion. You can see it has 12 valves, 3 per wheel. This was bad. We had a problem with that. That's what was causing the low pedal, spongy pedal. So at this point, I'm assuming you've checked all your calipers. Your whole system's good. You got a spongy pedal. 9 out of 10 times it's this guy here. But if you want to be sure to check your master cylinder, because this vehicle, we did replace the master too, I'm going to show you how to check that to verify and rule that out of the problem. What you're going to need, you can get these kits at any auto parts store, AutoZone. It's got your bench bleeding fittings, and it's got various other fittings. You're going to need your 2 fittings that fit into this master with a clear hose so you can bench bleed the master. And I've got this kit here. Also, I'm using out of this kit, this is for vacuum bleeding. You're not going to vacuum bleed this car because it's not going to do you any good. But the nice thing is it's got this little bottle. And then you're going to get you about 3 feet of a 1/4 inch clear hose. Make sure it's clear. It's very important. So get you one of these with this little bottle. The bottle also has a seal on it, so it's pressurized. You won't spill brake fluid and get brake fluid everywhere. Okay, first thing we're going to do today is check our master cylinder. Pretty simple here. What you're going to do is you want to make sure that if you got a low pedal, your pedal seals to the floor, we want to make sure the seals inside of here are good and it's holding pressure so we can rule that out. So what you're going to do with the master on the vehicle, get a nice rag, put it under where your line fittings are because you're going to lose some fluid. You can drain the reservoir first if you want, or you can let it all drip out. Choice is yours. But once you pull both your lines off, you're going to put these caps in. Before you do that, real important, make sure your pedal is down to the floor. Push your pedal down to the floor, because what happens is when you push the pedal to the floor, you're sealing air and fluid from running through the reservoir out the line, so that way you're not going to lose all your fluid. So you can either use, what I got here is a brake pedal depressor. If you don't have one of these, you're going to have somebody stand in the vehicle and hold your foot on the brake pedal and hold that all the way down. I made this probably for $15 piece of 1/4 inch steel rod, and handy dandy caulking gun, and then threaded the end, and there you go. You can make one of these yourself, about 20 bucks if you don't have one. Otherwise, have somebody hold the pedal down the floor. Pedal down to the floor, take your lines off, put these caps in, screw those all the way in, get them nice and tight. Once you get them in there, you can take your foot off the pedal, okay? Now, you're going to press the pedal again. That pedal should be hard and stiff, like brand new brakes, brand new system. Hold pressure on there for about a minute. You should not feel any fade in that pedal, meaning once you push that pedal and it stops, and it should stop you know, like you have brand new brakes, hold that for about a minute. And if it doesn't go in or doesn't fade at all anymore, doesn't go in anymore, that master cylinder is good. Boom, you're done. You got a good master. If it's fading, you got a leak in the seals. You need to replace it. This one I got Rock Auto, about 90 bucks. So once you take the old one out, if it is leaking internally, you'll probably see a leak. You'll probably see fluid in your brake booster. But that's how you test that. Verify that's good. That's good. You still got a fadey pedal. You're definitely going to want to replace that control valve. I'm not going to go on how to replace that. It's already been done. You can find other videos on YouTube all day long about how to replace these. Pretty simple, pretty easy. All right. Hang on. Okay, so once you get your master, you verified that's good. You've replaced this control module. You're probably going to empty all the fluid out of your lines when you pull these fittings off to replace the module, meaning you're going to get air in both of your circuits from the master to your ABS module full of air. I'm going to show you a little bit of quicker way to get some of the air out before you start bleeding the system. It makes things go a little bit faster for you. First of all, top off your reservoir. Once you get that done, what you're going to do, you've got two on the outer end, top of the module, you've got 2 3/8 lines. Those are coming from your master cylinder. Those are your maiden circuits coming in. So what you're going to do is you're going to break the fittings loose, a couple turns, and then pull up on the line a little bit, and you'll see air start to bubble around the top of that, all 360 degrees around that. When it starts coming out just straight fluid, tighten it back. That's all you got to do. Do that for both of these lines. These are the only two you need to do that to. And that'll get a lot of your air because it's going to displace your air with fluid and get a lot of that out of there. It saves you a little time when you bleed. Okay, so once you've done that, you got some of your air out of those lines between your master and your ABS. Well, I got a lift here, so I put the car in the air, took all 4 wheels off. Normally they say start at your right rear wheel when you start bleeding the system. Well, this vehicle I'm not confirming this, but I started on the rear left, reason being you've got the most line, being that the ABS is on the front right, from there to that back left wheel than you do the right wheel. So I started on the back right. So we're going to bleed all 4 wheels, but we're going to do this 2 times for each wheel. We're going to do two cycles on all 4 wheels. That'll get to all your air out. Okay, so what you're going to do, take that little cap I showed you, hook that clear hose up to your back bleeder on the rear left wheel, have somebody else in the vehicle hook up your scan tool, go to your ABS bleeding. Okay, so it's going to tell you to put your foot down on the brake pedal all the way, pedal's going to go to the floor, run the function. Once you run that function, you're going to hear the motor run for a few seconds, 2-3 seconds. And the motor on the ABS module, when it runs, it's going to be really smooth. It's going to kind of hum. You're barely even going to be able to hear it. That's normal. You have no pressure in that module. You're getting the air out. So hold your foot down, run that. It's going to hum. Hold that foot down on that pedal. After you do that, open up that valve. Okay, you're going to see just a little bit of fluid, not much come out. Okay, so once you do that, close the valve again. Run that function 4 times on that rear left wheel. Do that same cycle 4 times on that rear left wheel. Okay, once you close the valve, make sure, it's very important that you keep the person in the vehicle keeps their foot down until you close that valve back. Once you do that 4 times, now you're going to pump bleed that same wheel. So you can just set your scan tool down, have the person pump up the pedal, open the bleeder valve, watch you'll see a ton of air in that clear line come out. You're going to do that till you get about 2 inches of fluid in that little cup, okay? If you can't get it the first time, don't stress. Just get as much air you can on that first round on that rear left wheel as you can. Okay, once you do that same procedure, move over to the rear right wheel, same procedure, scan tool, 4 cycles. You're going to cycle it 4 times consecutively. Foot down on the pedal, cycle the ABS, open the valve, close the valve, cycle again 4 times consecutively. Once you do that 4 times consecutively, do 4 pump bleeds on that, probably 4 or 5 pump bleeds, until you get all the air out of that line. You should see fluid comes streaming out of that line with little or no air bubbles. If you can't get it all the first time, don't worry, you're going to get it the second round. Then when you get done with that, come over to your front left wheel, because that's farthest in the front from the ABS. Do your front driver's wheel, then do the same thing, fourth wheel on the front right. So once you get that done, now make sure that every wheel you do, you come back and check and make sure that reservoir is full. Do not let that reservoir get empty, because you'll have to start the whole thing over again. So what I did, one wheel, get about 2 inches of fluid in that cup, fill the reservoir back. Don't use the fluid that you pulled out, because you never want to do that. It's contaminated. Get clean fluid, put the clean fluid in, top it off, go to your next wheel. So once you get all 4 wheels done, you should start getting some pedal. Now do that whole same cycle, all 4 wheels again, starting at your rear left wheel. And now what you're going to notice is when they run that scan tool and they cycle that ABS, that very smooth purring sound is going to come to a growl. That's good. That's what you want to hear. That's letting you know that you're building pressure in that module and the air is out of that module. After you do that second round, you should have a perfect, awesome pedal. You're good to go. Hope that works for you.